Hello and welcome to today's flow for flexible hamstrings and hips. We'll begin today's practice in a child's pose at the back of our mat. Knees come out wide, arms come out long in front of us, and dropping the forehead down to the ground. We'll take a few moments here just to ground down into our practice, starting to let go of any of today's events so far and just grounding into presence by being mindful of our breath. Maybe taking this time to set an intention for our practice. We'll start to come up into our tabletop position, coming up onto our hands and knees, hands stacked underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. We'll start by dropping the belly, lifting the chest with our inhale, and exhale to dome through the spine. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest and gaze, and exhale to round. We'll do a few more of these just in our own time, synchronizing the breath with the movement. And maybe taking any other variations that we might feel here. Maybe that's making some barrel rolls through the body. Maybe that's just shifting the hips side to side. Anything that feels intuitive. If we're making any circles, taking them in the opposite direction. And then slowly coming back to neutral. We'll start to walk our knees back so that we're in a half plank. Exhale to come all the way down onto our bellies. Pushing the hands down to come up to a baby cobra with our inhale. And exhale to come back into a child's pose. We'll repeat that once more, rolling forward with our inhale. Exhale, come all the way down. Pushing our hands down, baby cobra. And exhale to come back into our child's pose. From here, we'll come back onto hands and knees. Start to tuck underneath our toes, lifting the hips up high for our first downward facing dog. Pedaling out through the feet here, making sure that we're pushing through all 10 fingertips. Lifting the hips up high towards the sky and dropping the chest down towards the upper thighs. As we inhale, we'll sweep the right leg all the way up towards the sky. And exhale to step it through, preparing for our high lunge. Inhale to sweep the arms all the way up. Bending deeply into that right knee. And then bringing the hands down, stepping back into a half or full plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. We'll slowly start to walk all the way up to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back, and exhale, fold. Dropping the hips down low, sweeping the arms up as we inhale, exhale, coming into our chair, holding here for just a couple of deep breaths. And then coming all the way up to standing, hands to heart. Inhale to sweep the arms all the way up and exhale to fold all the way down. Inhale to lift up, flat back. And then placing the hands back down, stepping back to half or full plank, exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra, and exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale to sweep the left leg all the way up towards the sky, and then stepping it through for our high lunge. Inhale to sweep our arms all the way up, bending deeply into that left knee, and then placing our hands down, stepping back, exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. From here, we'll slowly start to walk all the way back up to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold. As we inhale, we'll drop our hips, lift our arms up again for our chair. Taking just a couple of deep breaths here. Dropping our hips down even lower, arms a little higher. And then come all the way back up to standing, hands to heart. From here, we'll step our legs out wide, preparing for our goddess pose. Toes face the outside corners of the mat. arms come up into cactus as we bend through the knees, keeping an external rotation through the legs here. As we inhale, we'll bring our arms and legs back up to straight, and exhale, bend back into goddess. Inhale to come back up, exhale, goddess. Inhale to come back up, and exhale, goddess, one more time, holding here for a few deep breaths, feeling really strong. We'll start to straighten out through the arms and legs. Shift our feet so that they're parallel with the short edge of the mat and hands to our waist. Inhale, spine up nice and tall, and exhale, fold all the way down for a wide-legged forward fold. We'll bring the hands down towards the ground, maybe using them as leverage to push our heads down even closer towards the ground, taking just a few deep breaths here. Maybe rocking side to side, maybe shaking the head yes, maybe nodding the head no. Just swaying here. And then bring the hands back to the waist. We'll inhale to lift up halfway and exhale to come all the way back up to standing. From here, we'll slowly start to lunge over to the left side, coming into a side lunge. And then straighten out through the leg, turning to face towards the back of the mat here. Both legs are straight and facing towards the back. Inhale to lift all the way up, spine nice and tall, arms up, and exhale to fold over your legs here, coming into a pyramid pose, taking a few deep breaths here. And then we'll place that right hand down, start to extend through the left arm, coming up into a revolved pyramid, maybe gazing up towards the left hand. And then we'll start to bring that left hand back down, start to lift all the way back up, and then come back to center with the leg, starting to come into our side lunge into that right leg. Taking a couple of deep breaths here. And then straightening out through the leg, facing both hips towards the top of the mat now. Feet stay exactly where they were for our pyramid on the other side, lifting the arms up tall, and then exhaling a fold down over that right leg. Gazing up towards that right hand for just a couple of deep breaths. And then bring the hand back down. Maybe hands come to waist to come all the way back up, this time stepping that left foot forward so we're standing at the top of our mat. Inhale to sweep the arms all the way up towards the sky and exhale to fold all the way down. Inhale to lift halfway, and then placing the hands down, step back, exhale chaturanga. Inhale upward facing dog or cobra, and exhale downward facing dog. From here, we'll inhale to sweep the right leg up towards the sky, and then exhale, step it through for our low lunge. As we inhale, we'll sweep our arms all the way up towards the sky, and exhale to bend deeper into that low lunge, taking a couple of deep breaths here, feeling a nice deep stretch into the left hip flexor. And then we'll place the hands down, start to straighten out through that right leg, coming into our half splits. So we inhale, we'll come forward into our low lunge, and exhale back into our half splits. Doing this one more time, inhaling to come forward, and exhale back. As we inhale, we'll come forward. Step the right knee to meet the left. Come all the way down onto the belly. Inhale to push up for our baby cobra, and exhale downward facing dog. From here, inhale to sweep the left leg all the way up towards the sky. Exhale, step it forward into our low lunge. Sweeping our arms all the way up as we inhale. And exhale to come deeper into your low lunge. Making sure that left ankle is stacked directly below the left knee. And then we'll bring the hands back down. Start to straighten out through that left leg, coming into our half splits. Inhale to lunge forward. Exhale, half splits. Inhale, lunge forward. Exhale, half splits. And then lunging forward, planting our hands down. Stepping our left knee to meet our right. Exhale to come all the way down. Inhale, cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. From here, we'll slowly walk all the way up towards the top of the mat. Into our forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. As we inhale, we'll slowly roll all the way up to the top of the mat. Head and shoulders come last. And then we'll bring the feet so that they're facing the top corners of the mat. Legs out a little bit wider, maybe the toes splay outside of the mat here, hands to prayer. And as slow as we can, we'll bend our knees until we come all the way into our malasana. We'll drop our hands, inhale to straighten out through the legs, folding forwards, and exhale to bend back into our malasana. Inhale to straighten the legs. Exhale, bending back down, and one more time, inhaling to fold, and exhale, malasana. Pushing the elbows into the knees, knees into elbows, straightening up tall through the spine here. And then we'll drop our seat down to come into our butterfly pose. Soles of the feet together, spine up nice and tall. And then we'll slowly hinge forward here, maybe using the elbows to push us deeper into our butterfly fold. Couple more deep breaths. Feeling that opening through the hips. And we'll start to roll back up. We'll bring our right shin parallel to the top of the mat, bringing our left leg out behind us in a 90-90 position here for our deer pose. Spine up nice and tall, facing towards the top of the mat. Option to stay up here. Or we can start to fold forward here, maybe bring our forearms down. Feeling a nice deep stretch in the glute. And remembering to breathe deeply. Then we'll walk our hands back up. Start to take it over to the other side. Left leg comes parallel to the top edge of the mat. Right leg out behind us in a 90-90 position. Trying to keep both hips grounded on the earth. Option to stay here with your spine up nice and tall. Maybe staying here for a couple more deep breaths. And then starting to fold forward if you'd like here. Maybe coming onto the forearms. We'll start to push all the way back up here, bringing both legs out long, extending tall through the spine as we lift our arms up, and then exhaling to forward fold, dropping our hands wherever they might land, making this really passive and using the weight of gravity. to fold down a little bit deeper. From here, we'll use our hands to walk ourselves all the way back up, and then roll all the way onto our backs here. We'll start to bend through that left knee, planting the left foot, and then placing the right ankle on top of the left knee. Option to stay here in our figure four, or you can start to bring that left knee in towards your chest, either holding on to the front of the shin or the back of the thigh for just a couple of deep breaths. Keeping the legs exactly as they are, we'll drop that foot down, start to shift our hips over slightly towards the right, and then drop that right foot down towards the ground. Feeling a nice deep stretch to that right glute and IT band. If you'd like to take another variation here, maybe bringing the legs together for our regular supine twist. Feel free to make any modifications here. And we'll bring it back to center, starting to let that go, placing the right foot down and then crossing the left ankle on top of the right knee. Either staying here in our figure four or reaching for that right leg, bringing it in towards your chest. Breathing deeply into this stretch, making sure that we're externally rotating through that left knee. Dropping that right foot down if it's not there already, shifting the hips over to the left and dropping that left foot down towards the earth, making sure both shoulders are down on the ground, maybe gazing over the left side and maybe taking any other modifications or variations that you'd like for this pose. And we'll bring it back to center, start to let that go. Maybe windshield wiping through the legs here. Maybe bringing the legs in for a happy baby. Hands coming to the outside of the feet, rolling side to side. Or taking any other last poses before we come into our final resting pose. In your own time, starting to extend the legs out long. Dropping the weight of your entire body into the mat and the earth here, fully letting go. And feeling free to pause the video here if you know you'd like to stay for a while in your Shavasana. Otherwise, I'll call you back when it's time. If you're ready to start coming back, start to wiggle through the fingertips and toes, otherwise staying here on your back for as long as you'd like, starting to wake up through the body, rolling through the ankles and wrists, and starting to roll over onto one side, keeping the eyes closed or in a soft gaze, taking a breath here before we start to come up. We'll take our time to slowly push ourselves back up to seated. Bring our hands into prayer and take a couple moments here just to thank ourselves for showing up in our practice. Humble bow of gratitude. Thank you so much for showing up today, for doing something good for yourself, and for practicing with me. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.